Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Wanderer's Guide to Esterra podcast, all about Concord LARP. I am your wandering guide, Luke, and this is the final part of my coverage of the Winds of the World for Winter 2024. We've got 6 entries to go over this episode. Thankfully, some of them are relatively short, and there isn't really a whole lot to say about them for the most part, but we've also got some somewhat beefy, interesting ones. So yeah, it's a good mix. I've got a few things to kind of go over and talk about at the very end of the episode. I will leave that for that. However, things at the top, just to say it now to get it done. Character submissions through the new character creator / builder / submitter on the Concord wiki are closed. They have been closed from after the 18th of March. If you have bought a ticket for the upcoming summit and bought a player character ticket and have not submitted your character through the new character creator, bad times are going to be had for you, because you're probably not going to get anything in your character pack. You might not even you're probably not even going to have a character pack. Because everyone needed to submit through this new character submitter and character creator. This will be a learning experience for some people. So we'll kind of see how things sort of roll out. If you have submitted your character and had all that approved and such, but you have not bought your player character ticket yet, please do that. Do that ASAP. They're going to be closing soon-ish. Probably a week or so, so please get your ticket purchased. The premium packs, I believe, are still up. Go check Sam Bound's post about that on the Facebook group. I know there's a bunch of stuff I said I was going to leave for the end of the episode, and there is. This is just the small things. Beyond that, that's pretty much it. There's going to be an unofficial training on the 5th of April down in Falcon Mandurah, Western Australia. Please go see the post related to that on the unofficial WA LARP page. And aside from that, let's kind of kick into the final part for this. So for this episode, we're going to be going through The Wave Breaks as the Heart Does, Harlig of Alfwins Wall, the first Concordian Paragon, In the Reflection of My Enemies, Journey On, Show Me Where I Went Right, and Gold for Kings, Silver for Nobles, Copper for Layfolk, and Death for Slaves. Or Death for Slaves, it's one of the two. I always get the two confused, and I don't have it in front of me currently. So, we're going to start off with the first one, first cab off the rank, The Wave Breaks as the Heart Does. This is news from the sea. This is different sort of naval things that have occurred that are not directly Concordian, along with some Concordian options. There's some spooky stuff in this one. There's a lot of actions being taken by people that the Concord is somewhat friendly with and somewhat not. There are some very cool opportunities, all things considered, and there's going to be some choices being made at game that will influence this sort of options here. So some of these aren't set in stone, sort of. So we'll start off with the first one being the surest guarantee of peace. News from the West. This is all about the sort of Ardabazan situation. We do have their new king, or emperor I should say, celebrating their birthday, Emperor Eurus, I believe. I will... let me see. Let me just flick through here. Yep, Emperor Urso, has celebrated his 21st birthday in the city of Davenport, where he received the homage of the king of the Vokashan, the Vokashan people. Together he and the Emperor's... Together the Emperor's legions and the Avokashan war host have turned back the Zancanate army that threatened the army. The Zancanate army that threatened the city and the surrounding countryside. The third victory against the Zan is in as many months for the young emperor. Further south, new keels are being laid in Patavium for an imperial fleet. Whether this will join the other two imperial fleets in the north supporting the war against the Zan, travel west past the Cape of Tabadar to support interests there, or to turn its gaze towards Esterra, remains unknown. So yeah, basically, new emperor of Azerbaijan is making a lot of schmoves, has been named King of the Vokashan. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. There is no pronunciation guide here. No idea what that means. So yeah, because there's a lot about Azerbaijan we just don't know. But you know, another big victory against the Zancanate in as many months is spooky, because that's a whole war we really don't know anything about other than it has been happening. We've also got the new Azerbaijan fleet being made, and sort of questions about where that's going to go. But one way or another, it is a scary part. As a note, the Azerbaijan docks are still closed. And interestingly, still bluntly regarding the Concord as being rebels and traitors. So that's interesting. So the game information, to give a brief overview of this one, Azerbaijani ports are closed, cannot be traded with. Whilst Concordian vessels haven't been attacked by Azerbaijani vessels, it doesn't take much to imagine it happening. We have the Andaji Shahak in the northwestern parts of Esterra, has nearly no diplomatic ties to the Concord. Their only contact being vestigial through that of the Trade Principality of Apravano, where the Andaji Shahak has been assisting Trade Prince Majid up until recently. Yeah. It does make mention of the city of Bohak being, I believe it's pronounced Bohak? Bohak? I'm not quite sure. I believe this is the main city of the Andaji, and it's, if you're wanting to know a bit more about that and try and do anything about that, you'd need to speak to the ambassador to the Trade Principality of Apravano. That's more or less it for that one. Now we come into 3 Coins into the Sea. Bloody pirates. So this one is about the efforts being made by the Golden Fleet in Ophelia Diablos. That more or less comes to the Golden Fleet has been leaving Concordian vessels alone, but has been raiding Drummond and Dendar, but not the Hikari, because basically Golden Fleet went to the Dendar, went to Hikari, went to Drummond, and said, basically, like extortion money, racketeering, pay us off or we're going to come wreck your world. The rumor holds that what's the word here? That the Collidus is the wording here, I think. Yeah, the Collidus of Atanax in Hukar paid the Storm Queen a ransom of a ship's hold and worth of mithril and 1,000 slaves to cease raiding their vessels and their sodden countryside. It does make note that this may not be the actual value, but basically Hukar paid off the Golden Fleet to stop messing with their stuff. It would appear that Drummond and Dendar did not. Oh, actually, hold on. It's been a while since I've looked at this one. Let me be sure of this. Okay. It may... Sorry, I have not observed this correctly. My apologies. So it would appear that that Hukar have paid off the Golden Fleet as a ransom to just not do anything. I guess it is the inference that the other two did not, perhaps were even never offered it. Which is interesting. But the basic information is Dendar and Drummond, their ports will be closed to everyone basically for the coming season due to this, due to the raids of the Golden Fleet. Anyone that did trade with Dendar, Hukar, or Drummond will, taking the trade with foreign ports action, will act as if they were a tier higher, which is pretty cool. Owing to, prices being very amenable to with all the raids going on. But yeah, the Drummond and Dendar ports are now closed for the coming season due to the raids, but Hukar is still open for whatever that's worth. Yeah, thankfully, well, I say thankfully, Dendar did put up a decent fight. Directly, obviously still taking losses. Lucasax still being mentioned here. The Queen of the Golden Fleet did attempt to steal a fleet. The fleet of House Rayleigh at Drummond, which is funny. Though the Golden Fleet did basically, destroy the fleet they had and made off with all booty and plunder from the largest port in Hildebrand. So that's good. And it does appear there may be a shake-up in Dukes of the sort of maritime section of Dendar. Sorry, just examining information. Yeah, so yeah, pretty much, yeah. The Drummond is dealing with a little bit of a shake-up through the Golden Fleet's efforts, but it remains to be seen whether or not this is going to be a good thing or not. This does also bring up the single Concordian vessel that made their way to Dendar, flying Concordian colours, a Valley vessel, the Sweet Valley. They had two tasks: to train in Iron Valley handcrafts and other resources, and deliver the Concordian ambassador Eadwulf for a series of important meetings with Queen Thestari of Comoros and others. While the Sweet Valley and its captain Willow did good trade, Ambassador Eadwulf has not been seen again. The attack on Comoros forced the ship to begin its long journey home, with its hold overflowing with trade good, but without the ambassador, of which nothing has been heard, despite the dedicated efforts of the crew to locate him before they departed. . 'Cause, 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 'c So, yeah, beyond what I've more or less already pointed out, obviously the players of the characters Willow and Eadwulf will receive additional briefs in their player packs regarding their experiences in Comoros. The Concord enjoys protection from the Golden Fleet, but has a strained relationship. Without an embassy to the Corsairs of the Guardian, it is difficult to learn or accomplish much. Characters that are interested in putting pressure on this situation one way or another should speak to their senators, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and ambassadors. There will be additional information and decisions in regarding the conflict to the east for the ambassador of the Dendar nations. We now go to Unfathomable Depths. This is news from the south. This is in the Ice Reach. This is some spooky stuff. A little. To the south is cold and silent. For years, the Ice Reach Sea have been the home of the Ilsevere, the hunting grounds of the dead and drowned, and the great port captains alike. Or great and port captains alike, my apologies. Yeah. There's something else other than Ilsevere and weird wizards to the far south, and odd trade ports. Basically, there is a splinter faction of the Golden Fleet that have peeled off to go do their own thing, called the Ice Lords. They have made a home in Mount Kraken. They're in the Ice Reach Sea. They're holding claim to the Ice Reach Sea, as pirates tend to do. Yeah, there is also, under this article, reports of strange new colors that play out in the aurora above that plays out above the towers of the Idrian Cabal. Flashes of light and sparks of thunder. But the reports remain open as ever to Concordian traders. So basically, for now, unless something changes at Summit, the Idrian Cabal port is open, but there's weird stuff going on that we don't really know about at the moment. Well, at least greater Concordian public doesn't know. I can give you the short version of this. Yeah, depending on how things go, the Idrian Cabal port might close to Concordians. And there is also the danger of the Ice Lords there, because, it essentially comes down to, if too many vessels try to trade with the Idrian Cabal, their vessels are going to get noticed and the Ice Lords are going to intervene and bad things are going to happen. But if few vessels do this, then should be fine. You will likely be fine, and whatever goods you get from it will be plentiful indeed. It does make note that with a lack of an embassy to the Ice Lords or the Idrian, it's hard to get more information directly about this sort of situation. Yeah, there it does make the note of two Concordian fleets would be sufficient strength to raid Mount Kraken. Whilst they would encounter losses, they would gain the treasury of the Ice Lords, the stolen knowledge of the Ice Reach, and other knowledge. That will be sure. Yeah, the stolen knowledge of the Ice Reach, and would see this danger lessened in the Ice Reach for seasons to come. However, these fleets would need skilled navigators and scouting ships. Without 20 naval investment tiers taking the support the fleet action, this task would be far more dangerous and incur many casualties. This is if the Concord wishes to make enemies of the Ice Lords in pursuit of plunder and knowledge. So, the option to basically go hunt some pirates in the Ice Reach is open. Who knows whether or not this is going to happen, and could have some positive knock-on effects going forward, but, depends if that's something the Concord is interested in doing. And by Concord, well, okay, Concord. I was going to say War Chamber, but, it's both. Next, we have an empire has no friends or enemies, only interests. Basically, mapping options. This is just all talking about mapping options. I'm going to skip ahead to the game information because the rest of it's not, super important. Well, I mean, it is, but the baseline is we can either do some scouting and mapping around Hildeblanc being the lands of Drummond and such, Drummond and all that area. We can do some sneaky stuff to the north with Victor Major. I believe it's Victor Major. Yeah, Victor Major. We can gain significant understanding of sort of that area, the Artisans, MK8. There's a whole heap of stuff that can come out of that particular situation. And then the third is mapping. Could invest in preparing to map Esterra as a whole. The game information version of this is at a cost of 10 volts and requiring 15 investment tiers. 15 naval investment tiers, taking the special action Explore Hildeblanc. The Concord could gain significant knowledge of the continent to its east, including maps of the coast, wealth and contact with the peoples there. This would be provided to both the Senate through Foreign Service members aboard these vessels and to the captains who would undertake this journey. The second option, at a cost of 20 volts and requiring 10 naval investment tiers, taking the special action Explore Invicta Major, the Concord could gain significant knowledge of the continent to its north, including maps of the coast, military information, and contact with the peoples there. This would be provided to both the Senate, the Foreign Service members aboard these vessels, and to the captains who would undertake this journey. So, before I go any further, it does make a note with Invicta Major. This could put us in connection with the Zamkanate. I believe the first one would put us in connection, I think, with some house members of Drummond, which is interesting. The third option is the Senate could also, I guess we can kind of do all of these if we had the money and power, of course. The Senate could also invest in preparing to map Esterra. Doing so would cost 10 volts now and would require further work in summer. Doing so, doing so would organize a flotilla of ships to map the entire continent, providing maps and contact with the people across this whole continent. Given the greater attention to detail, these maps would be of higher quality produced than those produced by either Hildeblanc or by Invicta Major, but would take longer to produce. More information in regards to these journeys will be provided to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And that's it for the Wave Breaks the Heart does. So I guess baseline thoughts for the situation with the for the situation with the Endaji breaking off from Majid is a kind of a big question mark, because it's bad, but I guess the question is, bad for who? There is obviously the situation with the Artisans and Bazan Kanate. As a player, at the very least, I'm very in favor of let's maybe get in there and do something to kind of help Bazan, because it seems like they might be getting their teeth kicked in. We, of course, could stay out of it entirely, which is a choice. Whether or not it's a good one, I guess, is just, comes down to opinion, to one degree or another. We do have a new fleet being made by the Art of Bazan, which is scary. We do have the new Emperor, which seems to be gaining a lot of support. Some more notice of interesting terms that we've not really been hearing before, which is kind of cool. At least not publicly, or openly, I should say. We've got the Ice Reach. Well, actually, no, we got the pirate situation first. Golden Fleet is doing what the Golden Fleet does. They're pirates. They're going to go off and pirate. It does raise the question of, like, have we made the correct decision aligning with pirates? I have player and character opinions on this one. Very heavy player and character opinions on this one. And I've been voicing it for quite some time. I stand by what I've said. So, yeah, this one's... yeah, that one's just for me, a grind teeth moment of... there's got to be a point when we just stop doing this. Aidwolf just going missing is terrifying. Considering the stuff around Dendar, having a non-aggression... I believe it's a non-aggression pact. It's either a non-aggression pact or an armistice of some kind with the Onyx aristocracy, which is terrifying. Oh yeah, the fact that he's just gone missing and he's still going to get a brief in his player pack is scary. So we'll see where that one kind of lies out. But yeah, Aidwolf is missing. Yep. We do have Willow coming back with the Sweet Valley laden with trade goods and, good trade haul, which is neat. We do also have the situation of the Drummond and Dendar ports being closed in general, just because of the Golden Fleet, but Hukar still staying open, paying a lot. I mean, it's likely that the numbers have been inflated quite a bit, but just through like stories and word of mouth, but it's probably still a lot. We then have, the Ice Lords in the Ice Reach Sea to the south. That being not great. Probably should deal with that as soon as we can, but, we have other problems, as it were. The Adrian Cabal stuff is actually kind of interesting. Seems as like the Idrian that are there might be having a party, or maybe even attacking each other, or attacking something, who knows. And then finally we've got the mapping options and the sort of like getting more contact with foreign nations, which I'm 100% in favor for. It's expensive. There's a lot of vaults required. There's a lot of naval investment power required. But if we can get the money, at least one of these would be very, very good. Pretty much doing any of these, it would just be good. If I had to pick one of them, mapping the entirety of Esterra would be the absolute bomb diggity, and I think that's absolutely something we should be doing because that's just cool. However, that seems like that one's going to have a lot of effort to put towards it. We'll find out more towards what would actually be required to that to the full extent by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. We do also have the option of checking out Invictus Major and Hildeblanche, you know what I mean. The Dromedite lands, basically. Which is interesting considering the kind of connections we could be making in either of those. One of them is more expensive, being the Invictus Major option is going to be more expensive, but will not require as much naval power. The Hildeblanche option is more naval power, but less money, and then the mapping Esterra, the continent of Esterra as a whole, is the same as the first Hildeblanche option, being 10 volts, but it is a question of how much effort will actually be needed for this. It'll probably be something that takes a good long while to do, but may end up actually being worth it in the end, assuming we can get the funds for it. So, next up we go to Harlig of Alfwins Wall. So we have three sub-articles, being many hands make righteous work, a reward shared in common, and the shadow of a man. I'm going to give basic overview of all of this because it is fairly straightforward. It is basically, it has been put forward that the Concordian and priest, Harlig of Alfwins Wall, be tested to see whether or not he is a paragon and worthy of being a paragon. This is under the observation and effort of, where is the name of the character? One moment. Need to find the name of the... Yeah, Jacques Dessau, I suppose. Or a priest he chooses in writing is going to be the one putting forward the evidence for is the one putting forward the well-reasoned argument that Harlig of Alfwins Wall should be made a paragon. Is a paragon using the doctrine of the church. The basic thing is Jacques is going to be the one or someone they choose in writing to basically put together the argument that Harlig of Alfwins Wall is a paragon. The high priest will then must vote unanimously or not. They have to vote unanimously for him to become a paragon. There are 7 requirements to be a paragon. You can find them on the Concord wiki, but the basic thing is they have to leave a legacy. It's like legacy, affluence. I forgot what the term. Pilgrimage. That was it. Pilgrimage, voyage. Yeah, there's 7 requirements. You generally need to meet 5 of them. We're kind of seeing how sort of being a paragon and naming a paragon works in real time, which is quite cool. It does make note that there may be boons for the valley. There are possibilities that the valley may gain boons if Harlig is named a paragon. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, there'll be many boons to be given. They'll be particularly strong for the Iron Valley, the war effort in Brothersley, Priests of Servitas, and Gravers. Those people who embody multiple elements listed will likely see many boons. There are interesting things to note here of like priests of different spheres having different opinions and things. I think this is actually kind of interesting. Kind of a way to look at it, sort of public opinion, at least as it has been thus far. Priests of Servitas should feel overjoyed at the proposition unless your particular views clashed with Harlig. Would likely support us. Yes, it's basically saying Priests of Servitas should feel overjoyed. Priests of Servitas should feel overjoyed at the proposition unless your views particularly clash with Harlig. Priests of Anarch are split. A new paragon represents change and growth, particularly for the church. But the shadow of flames holds no warmth, and so the desire to consider oh god, this one's wordy. Sorry. Alright. But the shadow of flames holds no warmth, and so the desire to consider yourself change may push people to utter falsehoods. If Harlig's legend can face challenges, then it is true. So, if it can weather if Harlig's legend and sort of metal, after the fact can withstand it, then Paragon he may yet be. Priests of Arcadian are critical. Big surprise. Well, actually, no, that's probably a good thing. Critical. They are the tests of Harlig and will see if his soul is iron. But they are also prepared to be his champion. Should the Valley folk known for a skull on his belt and opinion on his steel tongue be proven true, then he will already be great without their help. Priests of Lumos are split. A new Paragon is a great hope and represents a shining light to the valley. But Harlig was a staunch, conservative voice within many things. Was he truly a man that left this world better than when he arrived? Priests of Panoply are often supportive. Even if Harlig was a falsehood, the fact that his legend merits consideration as proof of ambition, proof of power, and proof of glory. Harlig left a hole in the world big enough that some of the church seeks to fill it with accolades. That cannot be denied and should be emulated by any who know it. Priests of Stalia are critical. They see this not as a test of Harlig, but a test of the Concord and the church. There is a weight of history, love, gold, and glory pushing down on this scale, threatening to give a home to falsehoods, no matter how well-meaning. They must be the starlight that reveals the truth, no matter how it cuts. All of these perspectives are generalities, and how your character feels may be affected by a wide variety of factors, not the least of all any interactions they had with a prominent graver. They should be taken as jumping-off points for any priest or devoted layfolk. So now we have the Shadow of a Man. It does make note of that, Harlig is dead. The priests of the Unbroken Chain are sort of scattering to the winds. It does more or less make note of Harlig, how he was as a person, and how he approached things. Double checking. Yep. It does make note that if Harlig was to be named Paragon, or is to be named Paragon, there will be reflections of this in the nature of the Valley folk and followers of Servitas at large. While the Church could take steps to moderate this, these reflections would be of Harlig's nature and his legacies as a priest. These may manifest as boons, goals, or even challenges for priests, Valley folk, priests, Valley folk, or the church as a whole. So pretty much, yeah, this is the situation of someone going through the test of being named a Paragon. Yes, they are also already dead, but it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. I don't have too much to say beyond this. I mean, okay, I have player and character opinions, but that's not something I will bring up here. I would choose not to. Okay. We now come to, in the reflection of my enemies, news from Mukarem. The short version of this entire thing is this is all to do with the Almai and the Adrian Cabal. A fight has broken out between the Almai and the Adrian Cabal. There has been an attack being the Battle of the Glass Field. There have been Concordian forces that have aided the Almai in a raid on the Adrian Cabal laboratory and setup. There has been a Concordian force that has defended the Adrian Cabal. We do have names, we do have you can infer certain pieces of information. The particular attack has been led by a young member of the Almai, a young commander who has been taken prisoner by the Idrian Cabal. A lot of Idrian Cabal prominent members are dead, leaving a lot of apprentices. This battle was pretty brutal. There is also a note here, being the Hawkborn entry, that does talk about sort of the Shesti and their way of fighting, hit and fade stuff. Some really cool descriptions to stuff here. There's going to be a lot of legal stuff for the coming game. There's going to be a lot of, how would I phrase this? There's going to be a lot of emotion flying around for the coming game for this. Some very tricky things. I don't have too much I actually can say here, because a lot of it's like, just read it. Which, again, is not like the point of doing this podcast, but that's the thing. Like, it kind of says what it says on the tin. There's a lot of spooky stuff going on. There's some very brutal attacks going on. There's going to be... Hang on. Yeah, there's stories coming out about the Battle of the Glass Field, strange magics, strange places, strange things happening, big surprise. Bordavarian rangers and other sorts of warriors going on. Yeah, the second entry, being Might of the Headmaster, does make note of a particularly interesting, well, it would seem to me to be a particularly interesting member of the Idrian Cabal, second apprentice, is going to be making their way to Summit. I will talk more about Scaeus the Wanderer, or the Winder, sorry, when we get to Journey On. Yeah, there's going to be various information and various things going down, yeah, regarding many things. We do also have there is the Magli Almai, the elusive leader of the Almai, is going to be coming to Summit with a group with a cadre of people. The Almai are continuing to proclaim their separation from the Concord. Yeah, there's going to be a lot. There's a lot of questions on whether or not what the Almai have done now is worthy of being supported by the Greater Andashi, especially the Nomads, which is a big question, especially now. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of legal stuff going on. There's also an option here for the War Chamber to send a sufficient force, I believe, of 4,000 military force in to either wipe out the Idrian Cabal or wipe out the rest of the Almai. They're both damaged severely, though they are still there. There will be damages that will be or losses that will be suffered as a result of doing it, but it can happen. But yeah, we have 3 characters here that will be there are writs of investigation for the captain of the watch, I believe. You captain of the watch to, do their job, basically. Being put forward for Elamar the Bard, wanted for treason, murder, assault, and criminal damage. Baraz al-Morel, treason, murder, assault, and criminal damage. Eshen of Mukarem, treason, murder, assault, and criminal damage. The captain of the watch and their deputies should be prepared to conduct these investigations and others following their following their election. The other councils of the Concord will have a number of options to offer support or condemnation at this time. Yeah, there's a lot of big spinning. There's a lot of spinning plates going on, revolving around the Almai Idrian Cabal situation. There's a lot of spinning plates. There's a lot of things that are going to have to get worked out at Summit by various parties. Very spooky stuff. We're now going to go to Journey On. Assuming I can get the damn link to work. Let me try opening it this way. Hey, there we go. It would appear that that worked. Excellent. Don't you love technology? Best thing in the world. Oh, my word. Oh, it didn't even open the right one. Come on. Sorry about this, folks. Oh, this is embarrassing. Alright, let's try this. Come on. Oh my word, alright. That one works for some reason. Alright. We're gonna do a different one. I'll come back to that one, because, you know, don't you love technology? So yeah, we're gonna do gold for kings, silver for nobles, copper for layfolk, and debt for slaves. We're gonna do this one. And I'll kind of work my way back. So this is the treasury report and the quartermaster's report. This one is fairly straightforward. This is to do with the economic situation and various like building situations and such regarding the Concordian processes. So we'll start with the first one, the Pale Art of Sorcerers, the Treasury Report. The Concordian Treasury reports the following. The Concordian Treasury at the beginning of the Winter Summit is expected to be valued at 15 vaults, 17 locks, and 2 keys. This is after the calculation of costs, income, and assured expenses such as the payments to the Shard Circle and Academy. Current expenditure to support Concordian efforts is valued at 67 vaults, 15 locks. Current Concordian taxation is valued at 62 vaults, 15 locks. The position of treasurer to the Senate is vacant, following the death of Captain Leonardo Bonabelli. Last summit. It will be available for election at the coming summit. We now come to the Quartermaster's report. Look upon my works. The civil service declares a wide variety of constructions complete over the over the summer season. My apologies. As Concordian architects, labourers, and supply officers move the spheres to get goods where they need to be. The following projects have been completed. The line of fortresses between Wayland and Royal Bordevar have been completed. They are named as follows, listed from north to south. The Oaken Keep holds the north of Wayland from the enemies of Royal Bordevar, but faces its fair share of trouble given that it's next to the cursed lands of the Vassal. Luckily, the disease carried in that forest is nothing new to us by now, and some amount of protection has been included in every facet of the keep. The Oaken Keep sits a fair bit away from the trees and has good vantage facing both directions. Not enough that it could feasibly stop an assault from both sides, but at least enough that there would be some notice for its defenders, manned by a group that have collectively called themselves Watchers of the Oak. There is a surprising mix of layfolk, knights and nobles amongst them. An emphasis seems to be highly placed on those who are proficient in scouting, and the halls of the keep reflect this. Supplies are organised in a way that benefits smaller groups coming and going, and there are plenty of map boards and openly displayed report boards. To be honest, the Oaken Keep seems like a King's Ranger's paradise. Paragon's Roost shares many ties with the Oaken Keep, given that it is the first to hear any news from the north. Perhaps it's due to this, or perhaps it's simple coincidence, but the Roost holds a much larger supply of carrier birds. These birds, as told to me by a very excited young aviarist, can carry far more than simple written messages. Some of the larger birds are even trained to carry large amounts of medicine or supplies, while one particularly beastly looking thing is capable of carrying weapons and armour. If we had more of that one bird, I imagine outfitting stranded soldiers would become an easily achieved feat. But that is not for me to say, nor organise. The Roost has little else to note of mention in terms of the structure itself. However, a clever use of dirt roads makes the ground around it far harder to manoeuvre than it first appears. I have no doubt that one day Keelan's barrack will become renowned as some of the hardiest defenders of the border keeps. The building itself is wider than it is tall, and faces directly into Royal Bordevar, almost like those walls in the Iron Valley. The ground in front has been dug into trenches for a good mile or two, and a nasty mix of wood and iron spikes have been embedded along it, just for good measure. I don't care if your army is more dead than alive, but nothing is easily getting through that, especially when the defenders are raining arrows down on you. I noticed a chunk more knights in Keelan's barrack, compared to the other keeps, both noble and not. Each one had a stern look about them, and I could tell that all arms and armour were rigorously kept in shape. The barrack field even has a training field out on the Wayland side, and judging based on the state of the ground, it gets used often. Defenders of Keelan seem hospitable enough, but there is an energy about the place that feels like it speaks to their serious approach to the defence of our realm. The Keep of the Horn Count, apparently once called Clovis Keep, but renamed due to some honouring of the noble, matches its history rather well, just as Keelik's barracks or more knights. The Keep of the Horn, Horn Count is a host to massive amount of noble families and houses. The amount of attendants running around to keep place in order is frankly impressive, and the place runs like clockwork. There are regularly scheduled meetings, well-followed sentry routines, and all-around efficient manner about everyone. No one is overstepping another. To me, painstakingly so. But all are taking their duties seriously. This keep will be a hot spot for the virtues, I'm sure. An eye of aesthetics has been taken to this border fort, which is the biggest visual difference. The name has been truly taken into account, and various effigies and artworks of horned beasts and men are everywhere, even along the outside of keep. There are great big banners along every wall, each with a noble sigil and colours. I must say, it is prettier to look at than the others. Last but not least lies Grey Keep in the south. I am unsure if it was done as a play on words, or was simply done due to the easily accessible stone of the Steinvaults, but this fort is certainly grey in colour. Noticeably so compared to the others anyway. I have to admit, it did make me chuckle, so credit to the builders for that one. Aside from that, the quick glance proves that Grey Keep is extremely tall. Not quite a tower due to its width, and not quite a castle due to its comparative size, but certainly tall enough that one can look down into the wolf den, and maybe to the base of the Steinvaults nearby. The defenders of Grey Keep, perhaps in a rivalry with the Watchers of the Oak, have dubbed themselves the Keepers of the Cold. In a strange way, the defenders here seem to almost mirror those of the Oaken Keep in relation in numbers of ratio of layfolk to knights to nobles. That's about where the similarities end though, as scouting is certainly not the focus of the Keepers. They tend towards roaming war parties and patrols, happy to be big and loud and kill the enemies of Bordevar in an active way, whilst keeping close to the keep, of course. I wouldn't attribute the term vicious to the people of Grey Keep, but I certainly wouldn't want to see them as an enemy in territory they know well. The forces of both the People's Gift and the Valley's Own have seen massive expansion. Both the fleet and army are capable of supporting an additional 2,500 troops and have seen that many added to their overall number. Following their recent conflicts, both armies are in good position to continue campaigning on behalf of the Concord. The trade port of Nassafeza has been completed, thank fuck. Ugh. A wide arc of a breakwater protects a sandy bottom port capable of docking up to 20 vessels at a time, with the stones keeping a firm defense from both wave and war. There are attached warehouses, jetties for fishing, and children to dive from, and even a simple sailor's tavern. While the port remains quite empty to begin with, it is a spark of hope. It has become the heart of a small wounded township, with night markets and a lively opening festival. Duke Aelin has stood to defend Bordevar and his duchy many times. His investment in the Academy of Battle will see his legacy of martial prowess continue beyond him. Nestled away from the world, hidden among the ease of the Wolfden Woods on the fine grounds of the Red Oak Lodge, is a newly completed hall. The ducal seat of Heartsgrave is an ornate manor with grounds that include a servant's quarters, both a hall for entertaining and a hall for private residence for the Duke, and now a College of Arms, dubbed the Heartsgrave Battle Academy. This project by the Duke of Heartsgrave, Duke Aelin, Portless, has finally been completed after nearly 2 years of attention. Whilst not the largest construction, the Academy is roughly a third the size of the Concord's only other school of conflict, the Eisen College of War. It does contain useful manuscripts on both personal conflict and the organization of troops. Organization of troops. manned by a small cohort of skilled lecturers, paid for by the Ducal House. The Heartsgrave Battle Academy has opened its doors to a competitive first group of students, taking on captains for a short period of tutorship, using their gathered knowledge. So now the game information. So the fortress between Royal Bordevar and Wayland has been completed. It has 4,000 strength against forces invading from Royal Bordevar, and 2,000 strength of forces invading within and from Wayland. There's going to be decisions for the Champion of the King, the Duke of Starscar, and the, I believe, Senator of Bordevar? Yes, Senator of Wayland, sorry, my apologies. Both the People's Gift and Valley's Own have seen maximum strength raised. The trade port in Esterra is done. It provides tax income for the region of Bukrem, and also gives a +1 trade with foreign ports. Yeah, basically, and this also includes the sort of a slight shift in how naval investments work with trade with foreign ports. Basically, just a bonus. If it's in a port, you do trade with foreign ports. Access 1 tier higher. Good stuff. Obviously, the out-of-realm penalty still applies, but good stuff. The Heartsgrave Academy battle is done. This one's a little complicated. So, every season, for a cost of 3 locks, the Duke of Heartsgrave can nominate a single Tier 1 Bordevarian military investment that is already based in Heartsgrave. This investment counts as having taken the independent action downtime and gains one tier, becoming Tier 2. I believe permanently. So you pay. So the Duke of Heartsgrave goes, you, Tier 1 military investment that is in Heartsgrave. Pay 3 locks, and you will take the independent action downtime option available to military investments, and you will become Tier 2. Like, permanently. So it boosts, the lower tier military investments in Heartsgrave, not so much the ones that are already higher, which is kind of cool. It's neat. It's interesting. It's specific to note, they have to be a Tier 1 military investment, and they have to be in Heartsgrave to begin with, so, deal with that. And it's not instant, essentially you can't go off and do other stuff, you have to do this thing, you have to train at the Battle Academy, so that's really cool. I really like this. I think this is neat. This is really, really, really neat. Really unique piece of content that I'm really happy exists. It's good stuff. Alright. Let's have another go at... I don't know why it is that some of these links just work and others are like, nah. It's very weird. Alright. Let's do this the other way around. Let's just go through the search page. By the way, go check out the wiki. Go check out the different pages. There's some good stuff. I can learn how to spell journey correctly. Here we go. Here we go. Journey on. So, this is to do with the visitors, well, for what we understand, the visitors to Passage. We have the sub-articles, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight, tomorrow and yesterday. The first is in mentioning of the Almai, the Idrian Cabal, a knight of Bordevar, the Order of Candlelight, bringing a message for the Ducal Council of Bordevar, and the docking of a ship in Laronamere. So I'll give sort of the short overview of these four. We have, as I mentioned, the Almai leader and their cohort coming to Passage this coming summit on second or first night. Very important note. Night of the second day. The Idrian Cabal representative would also be coming on the night of the second day. It does make note that Magli Almai is considered, is wanted for treason. There's a whole host of different legal stuff going on. It does appear that Magli Almai is turning up to, you know, really cement a future for the Almai and for nomads in general in Andash. Yeah, I mean, it's not great. Also turning up with their coin master, Magli is also turning up with their coin master, their coin counter, which is interesting. The Idrian Cabal representative is coming alone. There is a particular note here of this individual, Scaius the Winder. Does make note, there's a specific line here that I think is interesting, in that basically saying, you know, they have to continue their work. And what is the quote actually? Let's... Here we go. He's here to speak with humans, to trade knowledge and to see that his work can continue. Not to war, not to kill, not again. A simple man, he walks alone, and you will see his arrival on the night of the second day. So yeah, it's interesting that this Idrian, this Scaius the Winder, is turning up and just being very relaxed, obviously with the full understanding that, like, you know, the lands he walks sees him as an interloper, but he is very much, it seems he's very old, very studied, very travelled, very, very powerful, and is himself perhaps not human. It does make a note of he comes to treat with humans, which suggests he himself is not human, or he is treated with things that aren't human before, which is interesting. Yeah, we have the Knight from the Order of the Candle delivering a personal message to the Ducal Council. That's Ducal Council things. And then we have the ship from the Golden Fleet and the captain coming to see the Senate. Let me see when this Knight from Order of Candlelight, let's see. Yeah, so first Knight will be coming to see the Royal Ranger and the Ducal Council, and the the Corsair will likely arrive for the Senate on the first day. So we're going to have the Golden Fleet captain turn up on the first day of Summit to see the Senate. Of course, these are the known and human... Okay, here we go. These are the known and human forces that approach the Summit beyond these simple envoys and their very human concerns. Okay, so Scaius could actually just be human from this. Alright, that's fair. I completely missed that particular thing entirely. So yeah, Scaius the Winder could be human. But just treated with things that aren't human, which is spooky. We now go to tomorrow and yesterday. We have a Herald of Lumos that will be appearing at the coming summit. The occurrence will happen at some point during the winter summit, and likely within the bounds of passage. Excuse me. And it is likely that they will be appearing during the day than at night. And that's it. So yeah, we have a Herald of Lumos coming. It's a question of what herald it will be. Some people think it will be a herald, or at least the chatter I've heard. Some people think it might be a herald of the setting sun. Could be a herald of the ashen moon. Maybe even the twilight. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see kind of what goes down. But it's kind of cool. I'm very happy we're getting a Lumos herald. That's neat. I like that. I appreciate that. The Idrian Cabal Almai stuff is gonna be tense, as I've already said. I think the stuff about Scales the Winder is super interesting, and I'd very much would like. This is like I would love to just have like an hour or two to sit down to talk with this person and just ask questions, because I think that would just be cool. They are my individuals as well, actually, for different reasons. We have an Order of Candlelight, a Knight of the Order of Candlelight, delivering messages to the Ducal Council and the Royal Ranger, which is super cool and interesting. Which it would appear is their duty to do, and probably has happened before and will likely continue to happen. And we have the Golden Fleet person coming on the first day. Yep. I've voiced my opinions on Golden Fleet many a time. I'm not going to do it again here. But my tone probably suggests everything. And also, keep in mind the things we learnt in the way Breaks as the Heart does in terms of the Golden Fleet and sort of what happened with them. Think about that and this particular thing that we have a Golden Fleet individual rolling up to see the Senate. Maybe think about that. And now we're going to round everything out with show me where I went right. This is a very short one. This is purely to do with the voting in the... Okay, I say purely. This is partially voting done by the War Chamber at the prior summit in regards to what, I believe, what strategic confluxes get done. And this also gives us the outcome, well, the general outcome of the skirmish and strategic confluxes at the prior summit of Summer Summit 2023, which I will now read out. So first of all, so we have the location, the time, the forces involved, and the result. The result and the effect. First up, we have near Wayland's eastern border, which happened at 5 PM on day 1 of the Summer Summit. 25 troops were sent, and victory was achieved. The attempts by necromancers to raid forces in support of the invasion are disrupted, and Onyx forces are diminished. Southeastern Wayland, 5:30 PM day 1, 25 troops, defeat. The Black Spear remains a useful lieutenant of the Onyx who is growing in power and knowledge of Bordavarian defences. Athamar's Folly, Bolsterley, 10 PM, day 1. 8 miners were sent, and victory was achieved. The Ethereal Kyanite is retrieved, and the mine cleansed. Yes, Ethereal Kyanite. I sort of know what this is. Not going to say any more than that. Northeastern Wayland, 9 AM, day 2. This is the first strategic conflux option we're seeing. Half the Concordian cohort, full victory. Scouts and rangers of the Tyrant's Curse are retrieved, bringing essential knowledge. The Tyrant's Curse is our current spy network, retrieved and gained because of these efforts, which is quite cool. Baylegs Hold Fast, Eastern Windholm, 9 AM, day 2. Half the Concordian cohort not taken. So this is the other, one of the other strategic conflux options, and it was not taken. Because of this, hidden supplies in Baylegs Holdfast are lost, endangering the future of the fortress. Lorena Mere, 1 PM, day 2. The Academy. Victory ? I love that so much. Knowledge of the strange beasts of the Concord was shared with the Academy. The Steinvolt Mountains near Dwelling Citadel, 2:30 PM, day 2. 20 valley folk were sent, and defeat occurred. The rotted pelt was not driven from the Steinvolts and has dug in. Southwestern Wayland near the Manor, 4:30 PM, day 2. 8 Bordavarians were sent, and victory was achieved. The Wolfden Brute was slain, and it will no longer raid the Wayland farmlands. Floons, one of my new favourite words, Floons, south of the Barons Road in Resenterholtz. 8:30 PM on day 2, 10 green wielders were sent and victory was achieved. The feasters of Floons were defeated and their knowledge gained. Northern Wayland near the Landscaster Hills. 9 AM on day 3. This is the day 3 strategic conflux option, which was not taken. Danica's forces are allowed to complete their enchantments required to rally their troops. The Landscaster Hills north of the stand in Wayland. 9 AM, day 3. This is the strategic conflux option that was selected. After Concordian cohort, victory was achieved. The Marble Gauntlet was blocked and unable to bring its full force to bear in the coming campaign. And then the rest of it is who voted on what, which I'm not going to go through because it's laid out in a weird way that my voiceover software kind of has a problem with it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As again, to note, all the things I just read out, these were all the results of confluxes taken and on Summer Summit 2023. We're coming into Winter Summit 2024. Just so you're aware, these are not the confluxes listed to come. These were the ones that were taken before and their results and who went and the general idea who went on them. Along with the strategic confluxes not selected. But yeah, that's it. That's the entirety remainder of the wins. Yeah, not a whole lot. I didn't kind of give a whole lot of thoughts into different things partially because there's a lot to say and there's not a lot to say. I guess to further clarify, there's a lot I can say in character. There's a lot I can say not on recording, in sort of general player opinion. But in terms of like this general recording, I've kind of said the amount that I wish to, I suppose. You know, if you want to learn about some more stuff, come talk to me in game. Come talk to the Harb Al Majil. I'm not hard to spot. Just look for the rotund gentleman with long dreadlocks and a cane. I'm not hard to spot. Yeah, there's a lot. Overall, this is good wins. This is a really, really good pack of wins. There's a whole host of different things going on, a lot of different content stuff going on. If I had to pick a favorite wins entry, I would say We Are the Bloodglass Inheritors, partially because I actively had roles in stuff that happened as a result, but you know, that you see in those. But also just because it's very cool. The Valley is getting a lot of really cool options this coming summit. There's a big Valley focus across the wins, which I think is quite cool. Not to say that the other realms aren't getting their own focuses, because they most certainly are. But I really like We Are the Bloodglass Inheritors with what it presents as options and sort of directions for things to go. I think it's very, very cool. Runner-up is, I really like a matter fit of Boghoffen's. I think the Boghoffen's article is hilarious. I also do really like the what is it called? Yeah, The Wave Breaks as the Heart Does. I think it's a very cool read. It has a very different vibe to the rest of the wins, I feel, which is quite neat. I mean, Wrath of the Concord is also quite good. They're all good. The writing continues to either stay at a really good level or get better, which is fine. I would rather obviously there's the preference for, like, you don't want the writing to get worse, and I don't think it would get worse or ever get worse because it's stellar and it's only gotten better as time has gone on. I don't think there's a fear, at least not for me, for them ever being bad or like poorly written. I think they're always going to be interestingly written. I do trust, I want to be very clear, if the writers, any of the writers of the wins are hearing this particularly, I trust in your ability to write these. It's been shown time and time again that you're good at this, that you have a group of people to check your drafts and such along with yourself. This is good stuff. I trust in your ability. Don't stress. It's good. I like it. Oh boy. I've said it time and time again. I say time and time again. I've said it plenty of times on previous episodes. I've done of this year so far, to do with the winds. Tensions are going to be high at the coming summit. Please make sure you do your check-ins. Please make sure you try to breathe, drink some water, and relax as much as you can. Find the time, because things are going to be tense a lot for a lot of people, and there's going to be a lot of stuff running around. There's a lot of options for game for everyone. There's a lot of things to get. There's a lot of things to get involved in a lot of different directions. For people that want to do stuff, the options are there. Get up on your feet, get out there, get out in the field, trying to make some stuff happen. Grab hold of glory and fortune and run with it like you stole it. Just go for it. In terms of sort of last bits to kind of talk about here, I'm going to be doing a pre-summit chat. I'm not quite sure on what form that's going to take at the moment, whether I'm going to get a small group of other people on voice chat to have a bit of a chat, or I might even do what I've been talking about doing for ages and bring my recording gear down to Summit, and the day before the summit kicks off, do a little at site recording, or even a live stream. We'll see. Yeah, the Skittles, the Michael Harris / Skittles episode will happen at some point. I know Michael's got a lot of things to worry about at the moment, which is perfectly fine. It'll happen at some point, and if it doesn't, that's fine. I've definitely got other stuff to get on with, stuff I want to try and do. I want to try and do some more pre-recorded stuff, some more short-form content. We'll see how that goes. I definitely want to try and get big realm folk in to talk about their realm, talk about the different aspects that they really like. At some point, but the summit does fast approach. We've only got a few weeks left, so make sure you get your prep work done. If you have submitted your character but have not bought a ticket, please make sure you buy your tickets. Please make sure you buy all the things that you need to buy. Breathe as much as you can, rest as much as you can, because when summit hits, and it's going to feel like you've been in that field for a week. I know I've had that a few times. Yeah. Sorry, other thing to mention, the layout of Passage has changed a little bit. Please go see the Facebook page, the Concord LARP Facebook group, to find the picture of the new town layout. Some of the realms have shifted a little bit. Layouts of things have shifted a bit, so please make sure you observe that. How tents and such get set up for each realm has also been altered a little bit. Please make sure to go read any relevant posts. If you're unsure of things you may have missed, again, drop a, number one, go read the Facebook, go read Facebook posts, especially the ones that have been favorited / pinned. Go check those. You could also drop a question in the relevant text chat in the Concord LARP Discord server. That's also a very good option. We're still waiting on the event document for winter 2024, but we'll get that at some point, I'm sure. Yeah, that's Winds of the World coverage donezo, at least for this time around. Yeah, I probably will do a post-summit chat, of course, as I have tended to do every time, or tried to do every time. We'll kind of see how that rolls out. But for now, yeah, if you like this at all, or any previous episodes, absolutely throw a like, share it around, drop a comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Not so much for algorithm or any of that, it's more just like number go up is a way of making my brain happy, and a way of kind of showing support, as it were. Watching it is great, but giving it the thumbs up, giving it the like, subscribe, all that jazz, it directly shows more support. But if you do not wish to, that is entirely your choice. Please go check out, as a note, Lon's reading of the Winds of the World. There is an entire playlist of it. Again, there is a big post about it. I say big, relatively big, post that Lon de Conning has done on the Concord LARP Facebook group and also on the Concord LARP Discord server. You can find the links to the playlist and episodes all there. Please go check those out. There is also a new Concord LARP podcast that has been started that is on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts called Brews and Brainworms, done by James Nicholas and I've forgotten Tim's last name, but yeah, James and Tim. It's very good. I really, really like it. I'm very happy that it exists. It's very cool. I would encourage everyone to go check that out. Tim has done a post about it on the Concord LARP Facebook group. Please go find that. Please go watch that. Please, 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 please. It's good. I like it. Actually, it might have been James that did the post. The point is, you can find it. Brews and Brainworms. You can find it through Spotify, and you can find it through Apple Podcasts. Please go check those out. Go follow it. Go listen to it. It's good stuff. I'm very, very happy that more online recorded LARP content is happening in relation to Concord. I want more because it's great. Because it felt weird being the only one for a long time, and I mean, there were other ones in like small ways, but like, yeah, I just want more. I want there to be more. Yeah, I will ever still do my best to produce whatever content I can because I enjoy doing this. It's a lot of fun. It's terrifying prior to recording. It's always a mess mid-recording, as it has ever been, but at this point I just consider that a trademark. It's not a trademark, it's more a delightful benefit. We'll call it that and kind of run with it. And yeah, as ever, I do enjoy doing this. I've never stopped enjoying it. It hit plenty of road bumps, plenty of roadblocks, but this keeps being fun. This keeps being enjoyable. I will attempt to live stream stuff, both, you know, like I'll attempt to live stream and record things sort of intermittently back and forth. I'm going to try and do some streaming on YouTube. I'll try and do some streaming on Facebook. We'll see. Twitch, we'll see as well. Again, Twitch is kind of annoying to stream to at the moment with the whole like multi-streaming and like mentioning other platforms and stuff. It's kind of annoying, but we'll kind of see how things go there. Yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Please take care. Please drink water. Please rest. Again, do your check-ins for summits. Please just do your check-ins, sanctioned events, summits. Do your check-ins because it saves the possibility of bad things happening out of character, which is never fun. Because tensions are going to get high and tensions will continue to be high. Because that's how Concord works. That's just Concord, baby. You'll take care, make good decisions, drink water, and I will catch you all on the field or whenever. Bye.